Neighbors.com just released their top 25 most neighborly cities. And that got me thinking, what is it about Fort Wayne, Indiana that makes us a neighborly city?
I keep it real, I keep it real, I keep it real, just keep it real.
Hey, what's up guys? It's Sam Hartman, Keeping It Real Estate. Thanks for joining me for this fun video today where I'm gonna look at this Neighbor.com article outlining what makes a neighborly city, but also I'm gonna give you my top 5 reasons Fort Wayne, Indiana is a phenomenal neighborly city to live in. So let's jump right into this Neighbor.com article where they outline the reasons that they picked these 25 cities for their top 25 list. And the key indicators that they used in measuring and picking these top 25 neighborly cities was 1, charitable donations, 2, volunteer work, 3, low crime rates, and 4, voter turnout. So these are kind of the 4 criteria that they used in determining what makes a neighborly city, but at the same time, they ran a wide survey to determine what residents truly thought of their city and what made a neighborly city. And the results of that survey showed these results. Planning routes was something that they thought made a neighborly city. That means people are living in the town for long, extended periods of time. There's not high levels of turnover. Embracing community events. I love this one. Get out in the community, be involved, be a part of what's happening. Don't sit at home twiddling your thumbs, complaining that there's never anything to do. You just got to put a little bit of energy into finding those community events. With social media these days, a quick search online will expose a ton of cool opportunities across town that you could get involved in. So be active, be involved in community. That is going to make a neighborly city. Number 3 is neighbors being neighbors. Being neighborly in the event of special needs, of high needs, in the need of a neighbor, whether it's a cup of sugar or a natural disaster. Are neighbors helpful? Are they willing to help? Or are they pretty shut in and closed off and pretty quiet and keeping to themselves? So truly, being a neighbor is making a neighborly city. And the last piece is keeping politics at home. So, anyone, obviously politics is always a hot button topic. So the flags, the signs in the yard, the election cycle, a lot of times that can rub neighbors the wrong way and instantly get you off on the wrong foot with a neighbor. So keeping politics at home, being able to enjoy your neighbors for all their other drinks and everything about them, as opposed to maybe starting on the wrong foot just because you support the wrong party or you wear the wrong colors. That is something that in this survey showed made a neighborly city to these respondents of the survey. So with all that in mind, I wanted to look at Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I'm a lifelong resident of Fort Wayne, and so I've got some thoughts and some beliefs of things that make Fort Wayne great. And so I wanted to put together my top 5 list of what makes Fort Wayne, Indiana a neighborly city. So let's dive right into that. And number 5 on my list is that we are Midwest nice. Now, for what it's worth, I don't think there's any better region in the United States than the Midwest when it comes to the quality of their people, the quality of their demeanor, their kindness, their niceness. Midwest nice is a real thing, and that is reflected in this top 25 list. There are a lot of Midwest cities on this list, from Madison, Wisconsin, Cincinnati, Ohio, Toledo, Ohio. It goes on and on for the Midwest. So the Midwest is well represented on this list, and I think that those beliefs, that Midwest nice, is really strongly reflected here in Fort Wayne. Whether it's someone holding the door for you at the store, or whether someone bumping into you and giving you that classic Midwest, oh, sorry, didn't see you there. The Midwest nice is really, really strong in Fort Wayne, and I think you're gonna see that if you ever come to visit or plant roots here. Number 4 on my list is Fort Wayne is known as the city of churches. Now, you might not be religious, but that's okay. When we look at the indicators that Neighbor.com were using in this evaluation, charitable donation, volunteer work, church communities are going to play a huge role in that. And so Fort Wayne having the nickname the City of Churches, you know that we're going to have a very charitable community, being involved in the community, giving back to the community. And whether you're religious or not, these are great things to do. They're good for you. It's good for the soul to give back, to volunteer, to pour into your community like that. So number 4 is Fort Wayne is the City of Churches. Number 3 on my list, we are a big little city. Now, Fort Wayne, Indiana is the second biggest city in Indiana, and it doesn't feel like that though. A lot of times when I say that to people that are maybe transferring into Fort Wayne or while I'm traveling, they don't realize Fort Wayne is the second biggest city. I think South Bend gets a lot of love because of the university there and everything like that, but Fort Wayne is the second biggest city in Indiana. We are one of the fastest growing cities in the Midwest region. We are attracting talent. We are gaining more residents than we're losing. So there's a lot of positivity there. But regardless of our growth, regardless of our size, it has this small town community feel. You can really get plugged in and connected to your community. It doesn't feel so big that you get lost in the crowd or the shuffle of busyness in a big city life. So Fort Wayne has the size that gives you all of the entertainment and creature comforts and amenities that you would want out of a great big metropolis type city, but it's small enough that you get that connection with your neighbors. You get that connection with your community, with the people that live on your street, with the people in the churches. Heck, go downtown, you're gonna see the mayor walking around and you'll be able to stop and talk with him. So number 3 on my list, why Fort Wayne is a neighborly city, is that we are a big little city. Number 2 on my list, I'm gonna call this accessibility. Now, I work with a lot of customers that are relocating to our city, and one of the questions I always ask them up front is, how far of a commute are you comfortable with to your work? Commutes are a big thing. No matter where you live or where you're coming from, you know, how much time do you spend in the car, not just at work, but getting to and from work can play a big difference in the quality of life and the time that you have for you and your family. So I always ask this question, and almost always the answer is not less than 30 minutes. People are typically pretty comfortable with a 30-minute drive or commute to their workplace. Well, I've got great news for you. If you're okay with a 30-minute commute, you could live pretty much anywhere in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Again, this kind of plays into our big little city feel. It's pretty easy to travel. Our traffic is pretty low. If you live on one side of town and your best friend lives on the other side of town, you don't have that travel barrier to entry to be able to go see them. So that's something that I see a lot with relocating customers. I had a client that moved to town, and their parents moved to town as well, and they bought houses on separate sides of town, but they're not from Fort Wayne. They're from bigger cities where the commutes are much longer. So a 25 minute drive to each other's houses was amazing to them. They were so excited by that. So accessibility, the commute times can be a huge benefit in connecting you to all aspects of our city. If you live out in the suburbs but want to go downtown for a fancy dinner, boom, that's a 25 minute drive. You want to get downtown for a music festival or a concert or some event that's happening, it's not going to be a huge chore to get down there and make happen. So accessibility is number 2 on my list. And finally, number 1 on my list of what makes Fort Wayne a neighborly city is you have this amazing opportunity to make your mark. Now, some people are totally okay living at home, going about their day to day, getting their family from A to B. And to be honest, I've got a growing family. It seems like that's all I have time for right now. But if you want to have an impact on your city, you want to move your community forward, you want to be involved and bring new amenities and bring new ideas and bring all of this growth and opportunity to the front steps of your community, Fort Wayne is a phenomenal place to do that. You want to start a public arts project. You want to start a new volunteer organization. you want to start a new charitable organization, you want to do all these things, there is a ton of opportunity to get connected in Fort Wayne, and I think plays back to that big little city. We are a big community with a lot of amenities, but we're small enough to reach into the pot and make an impact and grab your little piece of the pie to do your part to impact the city and move your community forward. This was fun. I hope you like my top 5 list. I'm curious, all the Fort Wayne residents out there, what's your top 5 list, or what am I missing from our list that makes us a great neighborly city? Leave me a comment, shoot me a message. I want to know your input on what the impact is of Fort Wayne in your lives, how we are doing a great job, but also how we can be better too. So thanks for keeping it real estate with me today. Be a great neighbor out there, and I'll see you next time.
I keep it real, just keep it real.